clearly a film that was based very much on archive, both original archive and archive of the footage that was being restored. And it was a film told, to some extent, quite simply through the memories and eyes of those who were there and took part, with one or two exceptions. And I think we were very fortunate in finding, there was a tiny clip at the beginning of a girl against the barbed wire. We found her in later life. She's still alive now in her late 80s. And she was able to, I was able to reconcile the three parts of the story of her as a girl running to the barbed wire in the original film, captured by the British cameraman. And at the same time, her viewing that, and at the same time, the cameraman and the British soldiers who went in to capture that film telling us about that at the same time. So you had extraordinary, as a filmmaker, the luxury of being able to put those together and make it immediate today, so we could actually, to some extent, sense what she had gone through and what had happened at that time. I'm moving on to two other films that I think some of you, I think, have people here seen The Act of Killing? Only, yeah, quite a number of you have. The two films, The Act of Killing and The Look of Silence by Josh Oppenheimer, have to be two of the most remarkable films over the last couple of years, and are full of, to some extent, quite controversial mechanisms. I mean, they're brilliantly made films, but the purists in filmmaking would, and some have, objected to The Act of Killing in as far as it was reconstruction that the people were making the film themselves in the film. But I was very, when I first came on board as an executive producer, I was very taken with it, and it resonated with what I thought Werner would like. And so I introduced the two of them, and Werner saw the film and was blown away by it and thought it was absolutely wonderful. And so he joined the team as an executive producer as well. And I think the result has been internationally accepted. It's had the longest cinema run in the UK. I mean, we're not a huge, documentaries in the cinemas don't really have a huge profile in the UK, but it's a growing one. And this first film has had the longest run of any Act of Killing of any film that has been shown on cinemas in the UK. So it's testament, I think, to how the public have seen it. And the thing that I really like about not just the storytelling style, which is surreal and gripping, is that Josh, who knew the situation in Indonesia extremely well, he'd lived there for 7 years, he spoke the language, he didn't fall into what a lot of us might have done, which is to play that contextual game with film, that here he's showing something terrible that happened in 1965, and none of us really know about it. And by the end of the film, you still don't really know anything about the government, the Cold War that was surrounding it, what the Americans were doing about it, and so on. And it doesn't matter. I mean, of course, in the long run it matters, but in the film terms, it doesn't matter. You don't have to tell it as a history lesson. You're telling it as a study of human nature. And the two films show human nature from two different sides, from the view of the killers in the genocide in Indonesia and from the view of some of the victims.